This is not just a podcast. This is actually a transmission from heaven to earth via my gifted co-host, Miss Constance Fox, spiritual medium and soul communicator. I'll start the show today with a message from heaven. So I'm going to leave it to you and what divine being wants to come in and give us this week's message on Help from Heaven podcast.
Yes. A special new energy is coming to most conscious people. So that's a relative statement, but I won't interrupt. Go ahead, Jesus. Yes, a new energy is being brought to people with a desire to grow and heal and support one another and live in peace on earth. And so that's what he's referring to when he says more conscious people, just coming from that place or at that level. This energy is unstoppable, and lower vibration people cannot tolerate this more refined, lighter energy. That is why many people you see, are more crazy, more angry, more stressed, more defensive, more aggressive, more fearful, more insane. When someone's in those thoughts more consistently and more intensely, it leads to insanity. So that was just me saying that, but is that what you're saying, Jesus? Yes, yes. And this higher energy vibration is not just planetary. Yes, there are phases on Earth where there's certain energetic frequencies being emitted from the cosmos, from planets, and from beyond that everyone on Earth, all life forms, are influenced or affected by. Some kind of more positively, and then sometimes it can be negative influence. But this is more than just that. This is intentional divine interference from the collective consciousness of God in many different forms, physical and non-physical, from Earth and not of Earth, and many, many not of Earth, extraterrestrials, divine beings that are just simply divine and from the divine realm, angels, spiritual masters of many cultures and times and eras, some that were on Earth, some that were never on Earth, and energies that are fragments. Yeah, fragments of source, of God energy that are certain frequencies, certain vibrations, and certain influences, certain elements. So all divine forces from the light, from God's love and light, are intentionally working together to lift up humanity to an enlightened society. That is the direction Earth is on now, going directly, like full speed ahead toward enlightenment, not at your own pace, but much, much accelerated. This is needed at this time to save humanity from the collective consciousness of the darkness, the lack of love and light in all forms and manifestations, which are the anger, the fear, the division, the violence, dysfunctional behavior, dysfunctional thinking, sickness, poverty, all of these things that are not of the light. It's about to take you all over. So we are intervening to bring balance and weed out those who cannot grow and evolve here on earth. So those who can will be able to continue growing and evolving. This was discussed before, yes. This year, so that means 2025, which is another few months left. Okay. So this year finalizes the past way of being collectively as a whole for humanity and on earth. The new year of 2026 begins a new era, a new time for everyone to create a new life on earth for themselves individually, and then also collectively, and then for all others wanting that and need more help and support than maybe some others. So this last period of time of this year, 2025, is a time to finish anything that needs finished, doing anything that needs doing. This is spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, relationally. Get a new you energetically ready. If there's loose ends or something heavy that you need to do or complete or make amends with someone, try to go into the new year with a sense of liberation and readiness for a new life that's greatly heightened in all good things. Having just this intention will do so much. And next year begins more calamity, challenges, chaos. It's really the kind of technical beginning of a new time that's not going toward this time, but it's in this time of more chaos, calamity, challenges, earthly, globally. This is when we will officially begin communicating with the star beings and the Galactic Federation and a few other like enlightened extraterrestrial beings that want to share themselves with us and help give information very frequently, actually. Wow, that's frequently. Every few days to a week, they will want to give some information for what to do for the next few days, what to think about, what to do, not do, plan, making the conscious communities platform. That's what he calls it, but schedule videos or, collaboration about that specifically also at that time. Now, he says, and now ask away. So it
Perfect.
wasn't really, he didn't start off with a prayer today.
That's
Um,
that's okay.
never know what you're going to get.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Jesus.
That's the
Yeah.
fun thing about this podcast is it's not scripted. We just ask
Right.
questions, see what's said, and then we just go off of that. So, but we do have a question from Meta in Denmark. She says, with this energy that's coming to the planet, can you address the typical like physical maybe symptoms if there's any that are going to come with this? She said her body's acting weird.
Good
Just
question.
typical.
He goes, absolutely. The old energies that no longer serve you and do not combine or they're not compatible with a new higher version of yourself, because that's where each of you are going. If you're listening to this, you are of a higher consciousness, or at least a certain amount, where you want to grow spiritually, you want to evolve, you want to create peace on earth and goodness in lives of your own lives and others. So you're of the light, you're on the side of the light. Consciously, simply put, with these old energies leaving you, negative emotions go with that. So emotions can be very scattered, more negative, more what you'd consider more problematic. Physical cells releasing this energy can cause temporary imbalances, discomforts, even dysfunctions where it's just not functioning, optimally or in a balanced place of homeostasis, for example. So, and, more busy mind, mentally kind of more busy. All of these energies leaving the body, the cells, the energy body, um, um, are a little bumpy, a little disruptive, a little unpleasant. And this will be finalized as over this phase of things releasing and leaving and healing by the end of this year. So I'm a little disappointed to hear that because that's a few months away here. It's mid-October almost. So we have November, December, so 2.5 months or so, but I guess it's not too long.
Connie wants enlightenment now.
Yeah. When the new year begins and it's January 1, and I find that interesting that that's just the calendar year.
Okay.
I want to ask him why that is, but maybe we'll ask him that later. Because most of you consider it a new year, and that's why. Okay.
Symbolic.
Collectively, a lot of us consider that a new year, or most. So I guess that. Okay. And you'll notice how much lighter you are and less dense, less heavy, like literally physically feeling lighter, physically, the body feeling less dense and heavy and smooth. Things start to smooth and you feel lighter, brighter, happier, more peaceful, less worried, less discomforts of the body just kind of dissipate away. Imbalances dissipate away. Challenges in your life are in the process of changing from a lower frequency, creating certain quality of experiences. And that's on its way out. It's changing, it's leaving, and new energy is being created and a new higher experience. That's happening now already for some. It's already started and it's going to continue like every week, some more and some more and some more. But really, it's kind of officially established, I guess, as of January 1, 2026, right? Yes.
Any guidance for anybody that's feeling these symptoms now? Is there anything that they can be doing to assist, or is it just wait it out till January 1?
More time and just kind of rest and relaxation. Sounds a little cliche, but just having it more time to give your body. I'm not pushing and not busy and not causing more stress by not giving your body or honoring your body at this time and allowing it to just kind of have a little more R&R, body care, relaxation, rest, meditation, taking it easy kind of. I know that's a luxury these days with most people and society to be able to get more R&R is not always so easy in this busy world we live in. But is there anything else though, other than that, Jesus? Awareness of how you're feeling a few times a day, like just consciously thinking and tuning in with this. How am I feeling? Like a few times a day, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Being aware of that will help those energies that are leaving the body in the process of healing, releasing, freeing, and transforming into a higher energy vibration. It will just bring in your awareness to it for just a brief moment. What am I thinking, feeling, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally? That awareness alone will like help it leave easier because awareness itself heals. So, yeah, tuning in for one moment a few times a day and asking yourself that and just getting a little in touch with that. So we're not going around the day completely unconscious of how we're feeling. Interesting. Okay.
I have a really great question coming from the group, but I just wanted to ask about these energies that are coming in. Are they measurable by like human detection or devices
It
or
goes straight
anything?
to no. Jesus says no. But they are able to be felt. They are able to be felt and known and experienced. When you have a shift And every single one of you are actually going to have a shift by the end of the year, almost all of you. And those who don't, which are very few, you will soon after. You just need to have the light received a little bit more, which will occur technically after the beginning of the year. And then that shift comes. So just a little after, but almost everyone is going to experience actually a shift, a more significant or sudden shift, an elevation of your life experience. So this is materially or physical health or happiness or feeling more spiritually connected to your soul or God or Jesus, or your angels. He's saying new heightened career path or job or income, relationships becoming more harmonious. All of these ways it's going to be kind of like a sudden shift, significant, obviously noticeable for most of us before the end of the year. So that's interesting. He's never said that before. That's interesting.
What about
Okay.
the effect on of this energy on the planet, like the Earth itself, the being of Earth?
The earth itself is aggravated and it knows what's happening. It knows what's ahead. It knows everything that God knows because earth is a being in and of itself with complete awareness, intelligence. It's really, God in the form of a planet. And it's experiencing through the form that it is a planet, but it's God live experiencing through the physical form of Earth. Wow, that's so neat when he puts it that way, isn't it?
I
But
know. Why does he always
it's
make me
so true.
cry?
Yeah, I know.
Ah,
But yeah, God's in every form experiencing itself through that perspective of that form, whether it's a plant, a tree, an animal, a person, a spiritual being, the planets. So just great reminder of that because I sometimes forget, don't connect the dots with that. And it knows it's bringing in the light because it's needed. Earth is aggravated in the sense of the physical form that it is and the irritants that it's been dealing with and is dealing with that are not in harmony with God's love. But it knows its power is already taking care of bringing in the light for itself, the earth, and also everyone on earth that's able to combine its energy or align or be compatible with that energetically.
okay, so we threw out the concept of testing Connie's abilities here of talking to Mother Earth, and Jesus told us that yes, we could. Does he want to do that?
Oh,
Does he want
that's
to do that now, or do we want to save that for?
says yes. So if we want to, we can, or we can save that for another time if we want to maybe have most of the conversation be with Mother Earth. But that would be really interesting. I've never thought of that until you mentioned it recently. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Should we do it?
that would be neat. Yeah, you want to? Can we talk to the consciousness of Mother Earth, the planet Earth? Okay. You already are. So what does that mean? We already are talking to the consciousness of Mother Earth. Yes. I'm confused a little bit. So what does that mean?
Because all beings are
Um,
one.
yes. All things are one. Are you aware that nothing can harm God? That's a big question, a deep question. Well, I haven't thought about it, but that's probably pretty easy for me to believe, I think. What about you?
Yeah,
Is that
I
true?
mean, God wins in the end, right?
Remember what Jesus said recently. So I guess Mother Earth was listening then. Anything that's not made from love was not made, is not real. And I have instinctive responses like your physical body does as well. So my physical makeup is imbalanced energetically and gives an aggravation, stressful, strained, pressure, tense, not relaxed, and cohesive energy that could be defined by our English language as aggravation energy. It's aggravated, Mother Earth. But it's just your imagination. All of this chaos and disharmony is not real. And Mother Earth knows this underneath the physical instinctive responses that all physical forms have. So it's interesting how Mother Earth has changed from the first person tense to now speaking of Mother Earth as like, it's almost like the consciousness of Mother Earth is speaking about Mother Earth, the physical planet. Anyway, it's a little interesting how it switched there slightly.
Yeah.
Mother Earth is okay. And she is in union with creation energy, and nothing can harm it. It always knows this, resonates this, and reverberates this, and emanates this. It's this all presence of knowingness.
It means it's all good because nothing outside of love is real. So she has the ability to wipe us out if she wants to, but she understands like the higher plan and
Yeah.
that God is coming to basically make heaven on earth again. So
Yes. Me, myself, and I are one. I've never heard that as of yet. Me, myself, and I are one. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, but there's what? There's a me, there's a myself from another perspective. And then there's an I, but like it's all these perspectives are one. Is that what you're kind of meaning? Wow, Mother Earth is very wise.
She- I mean, she's super old, so she probably
Right?
has plenty of
Yeah,
time to
very wise
figure
old
it out.
soul here.
Wow, that's
Speaks with
trippy.
deep wisdom.
Mother Earth, if you had to give humanity a message other than what you just said, like very concise, like how do we better serve you?
No need to even ask now. It's already known. And for a time, it was not known. Everyone knows now what is good and what is like bad for Mother Earth, literally, the environment, our planet, our cosmos, our atmosphere. Everyone knows humans are poisoning the environment and each other, all life forms on Earth. Before, people did not know that. This awareness has been brought out. More awareness of how you're harming the physical structure of Mother Earth and its inhabitants. So this was needed, and this has been brought to the awareness of all humanity. And beyond that, nothing else is needed. You will all choose one side or the other, consciously or unconsciously, to be on the side of the light, of goodness, healing, helping Mother Earth, each other, ourselves, or not having that desire, that intention, that caring, or interest even. And that's okay, because God will give you what you need also just elsewhere, which I know we've talked heard about recently, we talked about. So that's it. So Mother Earth doesn't really even have a message, which is a great question, but nothing you'd like to ask for, or no.
So we'll go back to Jesus then. We have a great question here in the group, which I think applies to a lot of people. This is coming from one of our community members. If you don't know, we just launched our Help from Heaven community where we have courses, lots of teachings. We meet weekly and we discuss all things spiritual growth. And we're trying to help guide humanity toward higher consciousness, which Jesus has just said we're on a freight train running freight for it. So you're either going to be on the bus or you're not. So jump into our community. We have some great teachings and courses in there. And also, you get to ask your questions here on the podcast episode. So Katya says, And it's a little bit of a long question. Talking about the soul contract. We're all parents or spouses. We live with people that we love, and we will do everything for them, help them, and just love them in the literal sense. I'm very honored to be a member of this group and have the opportunity for my development. But my children or my spouse do not, for the simple reason that they are not in their development where I am, or their soul contract does not allow them to be awake yet. I feel that I'm very alone in my development. My loved ones do not follow me. I love them above all. And at the same time, I know that at this time, they are not in the same way awakened. How do I deal with this? How do I help them to awaken when they're not ready for it? It is a huge gap between those I love in real life as a human being and in their understanding of who they really are. And I do not know if they will follow me in awakening. And that makes me incredibly sad. What can I
Right.
do?
Thank you, Katya, for that great question. So many other people have that same issue and are dealing with that and feel and wonder the same thing. So that's just actually really um, common issue for a lot of people. So great question. So this is Mother Divine saying, and Jesus is one, I guess, speaking together, saying there is a reason you're together with them. What other family member, spouse, or even close friends or other loved ones. Some will wake up while you are, and some will not. Everyone is at a different level in their evolution, different level of awareness, different level of consciousness, different level of the development of their heart's love and compassion and non-judgment, for themselves and others. And, so some will follow at your side along with you, and some will fall away and go in another direction. On a human level, that can be seen and felt as sad, especially a close loved one, family member, child, parent, spouse, sibling. But it is also to simply remember that this is just an illusory experience on earth. And when each of you wake up from physical life, you'll see this experience on earth was just a dream. And that could be the single sole answer for almost every question I could be given, meaning Jesus could be given. That's a troubled question, or coming from that perspective of concern or worry, or because it's really not real. But given that, how do you best deal with this, since you're at and on that level of consciousness right now, don't have that full awareness that this experience is just an illusion, don't have the full consciousness of God consciousness yet, and perceiving life from that perspective yet, then the answer is acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. And non-resistance, allowing them to be where they're at, where they choose to be, and loving them perfectly anyway, from that disappointment or frustration or aggravation or sadness or sorrow that comes from not being able to go toward the lights in your direct experience more with your loved one. It's natural wanting this. But if they're not at that level of interest or readiness or willingness yet, acceptance, acceptance, and acceptance, and know that God is taking care of exactly what they need and will bring them that in a different way. Everyone is at a different level, a different place, and needs different experiences to keep growing and learning and evolving and expanding their consciousness. So it will never be the exact same for even two people, but that is a complete answer, although not satisfying, probably, like to the ego. It's not really fully satisfying answer. But it really is the only answer: acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. And just know that God is with them as much as you and will bring them exactly what they need to continue growing and evolving. That is how Father made existence. It can never not be that way. Sending them love consciously, like literally praying for them, consciously sending them love is also extremely helpful because that brings them more divine support, praying for the good of someone or to help someone or to support someone with whatever they need. So really those three things: acceptance, and then remember and know that God is bringing them exactly what they need. They're taken care of, even though it's not in the way that we would like. That may be with us and with the same experiences we might be going through, which we might see as better experiences. Is that right? Yes, yes. And then, yes, praying and sending them love. And so those three things mainly. Yeah, that's not so satisfying necessarily for the ego or your perception, but
What about on a practical level when God is telling us, I want you to make communities. I want you to get in a, possibly relocate. I want you to go north. I want you to start buying land. Like, what if you tell your spouse, like, hey, we gotta move. And they're like, nah, that's silly. Or, or
right.
your kids aren't on board and you're like feeling this calling of like, hey, I gotta go. I
I know
want
a
to
lot of
start.
people that's
Yeah. How
applicable.
do we navigate that?
You share what you have learned that you feel a rightness with. You share sources, you share information with detachment, not expecting or demanding they perceive everything the way you do or believe or think everything that you do. But, offering that assistance. That's what you're here for, to try to help others. Sometimes that's imparting knowledge or information or sources of knowledge and information that you feel in alignment with, that you feel would be helpful for them to know or come across. And then from there, if they're ready for that, they'll be open to it. And if they're not, they're not. And that needs to be accepted. You have yourself and your dependents, children or someone you're taking care of, or and those that are kind of like independent need to make their own choices. Share with them knowledge, information, sources, and let them choose for themselves what they feel a rightness with, and honor that. Accept that. Honor that, respect that. Everyone's entitled to feel how they feel or believe what they believe, and they're at a different level, many people, and that's okay. Then they'll go a different path and God will bring them exactly what they need in a different way.
Is that going to be a judgment call where you have to prioritize your spiritual awakening over relationships?
Yes, absolutely. You cannot choose for others. You cannot force others to think like you or be like you or believe like you. You can help give them information and knowledge and let them choose what they feel a rightness with, and then just honor that. It's not easy in many circumstances like this. It will be very difficult, in fact, and understandable. On a human level, it's very understandable. But you have to follow your soul's guidance. They will follow it in accordance with the level of consciousness they're at. And some will need different experiences. Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a tough cookie right there. Will it be easier for people to see what's coming when they're actually like in it? I mean, the world's a little bit chaotic now, but it sounds like it's going to get much worse. When that happens, is the path a little clearer for a lot of people?
Much, much clearer when it's in the now and there's certain things happening where they can see clearly with their eyes that, this location is not safe, or this path over here is not good anymore. And then some will make that choice or different choices at that point in time Some may not have that opportunity. Some will.
Yeah, I think the fear is that it's going to be too late by the time you realize, where you need to be.
Right. Yeah. And I guess that is the case for Jesus, right? For some people, by the time they see it, it's going to be too late. They won't have the freedom to relocate. They won't have the
Resources.
resources or the ability at that point in time, or who knows what, Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's will be applicable for some people. And then some people might be able to have time, so to speak, to change things.
Can Jesus, let's switch gears. Can he compare? I mean, he lived as a man, a human man on earth. Can he compare what the time he was living to what's going on today? How is it the same? How is it different?
Goodness is the same, however you look at it. Wow.
You say
I was not
madness with an
expecting that
M?
answer.
With an M? Madness or
Yeah,
badness?
madness.
Madness.
This world on earth is kind of like a mad world, meaning like it's kind of like insane. When you say mad, is that what you mean? Like it's like insane? Yes. Most of humanity is living from the consciousness of their ego, which is just a figment of their imagination. It's a separate being apart from God, apart from love, apart from perfection, apart from wholeness. And you believe that that's who you are, this identity. And it's just a figment of your imagination. It's not who you really are. But if you believe in that, that's the quote, The Matrix. It's funny, last time he mentioned that
He did.
movie,
He brought
or
that up a
sometime
couple times.
recently anyway, and said it's actually similar to that movie. And he's never mentioned that, but before. Believing that you are a limited human being that's separate from everyone else and the creator. And that is very flawed, inferior, incomplete. Is creating is madness. It's creating all the trials and tribulations on earth up to now and to our day. And in my day on earth, as quote Jesus Christ, it was just a different time. It's all the same madness, the ego consciousness, the fear, that fear, ego consciousness, which is fear based, creating many experiences on earth that are various forms of just madness and dysfunctions and illness and famine and war and violence and hate and division and separating everyone from everyone, or you from everyone, or just, so many different forms and ways. So it's the same old story, really. Another generation after another generation after another generation. But this time that you are all in now is different, because you have the ability to take over the human race and annihilate it completely and create a much, much more dark society on earth. God is not going to allow that for his children to unconsciously destroy themselves. And Mother Earth will not allow that either. She will not allow being annihilated to the point of no more life on earth as we know it. Mother Earth will still be here, but I guess not as we know it. And she will not allow that either. So that's why divine intervention from many divine supreme beings from higher dimensions, and also many highly evolved ETs are all forming together in like a war situation to bring more light, higher energy to Earth, to enable those who are ready to grow and evolve, given the ability to do that. and those that are not, kind of forcing them to have to go to a different experience, a different place other than Earth to experience what they need to continue growing and evolving, which I know we've heard about before from Jesus talking about it.
I feel like so many people that honor your name or belong to a set of beliefs all think that, anything outside, like there's no other divine being outside of you, Jesus. You're it. And anything else is heresy. Can you comment on that?
All beings are divine in nature, every single one. But from a human perspective, answering this question from a human perspective, that's almost silly, but I will not laugh at someone for not understanding something more deeply or more further. I am one being, of many. So many beyond your human comprehension. It's a hard question to even answer because it's just so maybe not applicable. There are other divine beings spoken of, though, in many holy books, the Bible, other holy books, helpers of mine, like so to speak, like helpers, archangels, angels, saints, avatars, and other spiritual masters. Yes, there are many divine beings. And that just means, fully loving, fully of the light, no fear, no separation, no judgment, just unconditionally loving beings that are fully aware, God conscious.
All right, perfect. Thank you just for clarifying. I love reading all the spiritual growth comments and different, people put something very highly evolved and then they come in and like, that's blasphemy. Jesus is the one and only God. ETs are demons. It's just
Right.
it's just funny what's out there in the world, and that
Yeah, I
seems to be a
know.
very strong consensus. So I just wanted to clarify, because I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll get some of those comments eventually as we get
Right.
more more followers. So just having my, objections ready to
It
be
is kind
handled.
of funny when you think about it, because like even in the Bible, a lot of those people feel that or believe the Bible that it's truth, 100% of it is truth. But, even in the Bible, it talks about how there's, many other divine beings and helpers
Oh yeah. Oh
of
yeah.
Jesus. And
They
so
talk
that's a
about
kind of funny.
giants. They talk about
Pardon?
giants. The Bible talks about giants, the Nephilim. I mean, there's all sorts of crazy references in the Bible that people just seem to kind of like glaze over conveniently.
Yeah, yeah. And also angels and archangels that are
Yeah. Oh,
totally
absolutely.
divine
That
beings
that I
and
don't count because those
working
are
for
talked about
Jesus
all.
side by side with him. And
Yeah. Well, let's we have one last question here in our chat. This is from Susan. She asks, will this divine reset, meaning like the Garden of Eden that's coming and like the new earth, result in eking out a living like in a third world country? Or is technology here to stay? What would this technological upgrade look like? So
wow, like in the future, like
yeah, imagine
AI
the
and all this.
world goes into like World War III and everything's decimated. Are we gonna live like paupers again, or one with the earth more, or rural and like grow our own food, hunter gatherer style, or is there going to be still technology? It seems like.
Yeah, what a great question. Many will not want any technology at all whatsoever. They will choose to live, naturally without advanced technology, simply put. Everyone will choose what balance, how much, how little they want in their life. Some might want plumbing and electricity and no computers or TV. Some might want this or that and just the internet, and some might want nothing and just live very primitively. Is that right? Like, yeah, is it just going and there will be technology available, but there will be a several year period of time when, there's no access to computers for most people anyway. Cell phones, like most people won't have access to that, let alone TV or something, of course. And we'll live very primitively. This is, kind of a several year period of time. That's coming up. After that, the people that remain on earth will bring together scientific minds and those who have this quote technology understanding, and will bring it back, so to speak, not in the way it's going now and not in the way that it's going to be a little bit more coming up. They will leave out a lot of it that they feel is destructive, damaging, to human consciousness, to Mother Earth, our environment, to our health, and so forth. A lot of modern physical healing methods will be annihilated, not exist. Healing will become completely natural again, and in time will not even be needed. When you are one with God in your awareness, there's no such thing as illness or sickness. Nothing needs to be healed. Yes, and with a completely different form of technology from ETs that are coming to Earth and bringing methods or systems or techniques for, it's literally energy healing. It heals energy, it enhances energy, and that removes physical imbalances and other imbalances. Like physical healing is not going to be needed, or it might be needed, but I guess we're not going to be doing it the way we do now anyway. It's going to be more energetic healing and then natural healing. Is that right? So natural healing is like herbology and nutrition and then energy.
Meta is asking, is that going to happen in our lifetime?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. There's coming a time when like modern medicine is not going to be available, and much of it is not going to be utilized again in the future. It's going to be chosen not to be utilized again. And natural healing, what we call natural, yes, which is herbology or natural healing, but then also energetic energy healing that we don't really know of yet, that we're going to be given access to from these enlightened extraterrestrials, that's going to bypass the need for even modern medicine as we know it, bypass even natural healing as we know it, and just go straight to the energy healing, and then that heals the manifestation.
Has someone already been healed with orbs or ETs kind of visiting them already?
Yes. Yes, it's available already. It's been brought to Earth already, and it will become available for everyone. For everyone. That is destiny. That is intentional. That's going to be brought to all on Earth, available for all on Earth.
Can I ask about an individual who I'm talking about? He's an author. I read his book. His name's Chris Bledsoe, and he's been being visited by like all sorts of weird paranormal stuff. I think he lived in like Tennessee or Kentucky or somewhere in the Appalachian kind of area, which is known to have a lot of weird stuff happen. But anyway, he's been visited for a very long time, and he can like he was just at the White House and he can draw in orbs. It's almost like he communicates or they follow him but he has a really interesting book. I devoured it. But he said his dad was healed by one of these UAPs or these bright circling UFO lights. So
Right.
that was brought my question is what's going on with this gentleman, Chris Bledsoe? Like why are they why'd they pick him or how did he get chosen?
Tracks them because of his ability to not believe in the limitations that most of humanity is given and believes in, or a lot of humanity. So like there's not having that belief system or those belief systems keeps his belief systems, his energy, because our energy is created partly by our belief systems, how we think, believe. And they know he is one more loving He's a more loving being. So just that alone, I think they're attracted to more loving beings, or those that are shining more love, so to speak, and energy. So they like him, and they want to help assist him, want to help him. Those are like energetic beings, like the orbs or whatever. They all have a natural desire to give love, to give healing, to give help. This is everyone's natural nature. And so when they're already in that consciousness, really, that hasn't been damaged or forgotten or what have you, or developed a self-centered nature, they are, going to him to help him. They like his energy, literally, just because it's more loving. And they know that he's open. He's also more open because of maybe his belief systems and the quality of his energy and just loving nature. He's also going to be an information gatherer and giver, like gather information and give information. And that's like part of his purpose. So he's attracting certain experiences that are going to support that and give him that information or experience. So then he can share some of that with the world. So that's also part of his purpose. It's really kind of like a level of being a healer. There's a lot of different ways of healing, and sometimes it's just to sharing your experience or knowledge that you've learned. And he's going to beam energy directly to people in a special way. Like this is all like from the background in the divine realm, I think.
The energy or the information?
Yes. Um, Using the help of other divine beings, energy beings, spiritual beings, using them to direct energy specifically to certain locations. I've never heard this before. And people that live in that location or spend a lot of time in that location are really it's going to be expedited. Their evolution, their consciousness, their spiritual growth, their healing is going to, because it's just that if you're in a higher energy vibration, the healing and process.
Because
And
he's
they're actually going to
directing it?
intentionally beam energy down to certain locations to help assist people with that. That's it. Really interesting. I've never heard that as of yet, I don't think.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited. I want UAPs to follow me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm ready. Beam me up.
They sound like loving,
Beam me up,
healing,
Scotty.
yeah, carrying little beings around there, floating around.
Seemed like his experiences were a little scary at first, being visited, and they were in the fields, and he's had like almost like Bigfoot. They've had shadow people. Like, I mean, it seemed like there was a lot of going on, and they weren't all positive at the beginning. But
Right. He's open. He's more open, and he has divine protection, and he knows how to snap out of it, so to speak. If he's on directed over here, that's not like good or desirable for him, he knows how to switch gears or change positions or do something differently. Like he has that awareness, that understanding, and he's also learning how to be like 4 or 5D dimensional, and here it's a 3D dimensional world. Is that what you mean? There's a part of learning how to expand your being beyond a confined, yes, and that can be scary. It's unfamiliar. Well, it just reminds me, even when I was 21 and I had my first angel communicate to me, I was that was like really scary. It really freaked me out, but it's such a normal. We're all supposed to be able to connect with and communicate directly to God, angels, our deceased loved ones. It's a natural spiritual faculty that we all have. They've become dormant for us over the eons. And that took some adjustment for me and some time. That was like actually really scary at first and freaked me out. And I was in the closet about it for years, actually. I wouldn't tell anyone about it. I was afraid that they'd think I'm crazy or, you know.
Yeah, that's what most people will assume, and they, label you, "Oh, you hear voices in your head?" Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But, it is natural, like Jesus said. We've just lost it's atrophied. It's like a muscle that we haven't used. We haven't needed it.
Right. Oh, that's a great analogy. That's a
We
really
just
good
let it
analogy.
atrophy, so
But even just, from back then, which was like 30 years ago or whatever, a long time ago. And now there's so many people that have heard of channelers and spirit communicators and certain type of psychic intuitives that are able to communicate in different ways through energies, feeling energy, visions, hearing words like I do. So, and more people are in acceptance of that, but also are aware of that and like, yeah, oh yeah, that's not such a bizarre thing.
it's a good question to end on is, I know our gifts will open as, we grow spiritually, but is there anything else we can do to make it happen faster?
Uh, Spirit communication itself is just a clear audience, like a channel, um, that's opened when you tune into your soul more. And a deep meditation that creates stillness, like effective stillness, brings out all the spiritual faculties or the soul's faculties or these quote spiritual gifts that we all have. Tuning into your soul's awareness, your soul's abilities through stillness. So it's stillness that's really the means for spiritual faculties to come out, or our soul's faculties, gifts, spiritual gifts. And the heart technique is like a meditation that will create stillness fluidly in time, like fluidly, easily, smoothly, frequently, like as you do it more easily, and grow ongoing, and deepen ongoing. And for those that don't know, that's one of our courses, the members. The heart technique is a daily meditation that Jesus actually gave Meta, my friend. I don't know if she's still on or not. Gosh, 13 years ago or so. It was so interesting how that came out unexpectedly for both of us. But so that's a good answer. Yeah, stillness. And it's
Okay.
nothing can replace stillness and what that does for us. Stillness, presence of stillness, being in presence beyond the mind's thoughts, that presence or stillness or that awareness that's there beyond the mind's thoughts. That's when you're reaching your soul, or that's your soul's presence. So tapping into that with an effective meditation daily or frequently brings out more of the soul's awareness and abilities. Yeah, good
Right.
reminder.
I know.
Yeah. Nothing replaces,
Guilty.
even the Bible has that saying. What is it that,
Be
be
still and know
still and
that.
know I am God. And then the stillness, that still small voice and, the stillness inside where
Mhm.
God is. So
The
it's a
kingdom of
lot of,
heaven is within, all of them.
right, right. Kingdom of heaven is within. So going within into that stillness.
So perfect. Well, feel free to share this episode with your loved ones, anyone you think would benefit. Subscribe, like, share, help from heaven. We need to get more messages out to the consciousness of humanity for those that are ready, willing, able to grow, and want to be a healer and rebuilder of the new earth.